When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at Jewel International, Gordon D Melville.
Hey everybody, welcome today. Welcome Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. That's a big deal for me. I'm wearing my red tie today for Red Friday. And happy St. Patrick's Day for all of my Irish friends and those of you that aren't and just want to be Irish for today. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day. You're with the Long Bearded Guy, Gordon D Melville on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm very happy you're here with me today. Hi, Crystal. Great to see you. Thank you for being in today. All right, so welcome. If you're, you can find me on anywhere: Apple TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire, LG, and Samsung Smart TV, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your stuff. You can find my long happy beard there somewhere on Inspired Choices Network. It's a free download. Please do that. Like it, love it, subscribe, share it with your friends. I heard something this week, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that with my community. I'm going to challenge the community to add 1,000 new subscribers to Inspired Choices Network this week. Between now and next week, 1,000. Can we do that? I'm going to throw the gauntlet down and put it out there. How many people can we add to the subscription? Because that's the only way we get the message out. We want to be able to get that message out as far as we can. You all know my mission. 10 million men in 24 months with a message of hope. So you know what? We are going to try and push it out as far as we can. And the way we do that is reach. And so we want engagement. And so we want to try and do that. I deeply appreciate people that are reaching out and commenting and liking and loving and sharing. I've had lots of interaction with people, and I really, really appreciate that. And again, that's what this is about. I've said it a bunch. You've heard me say that. I'm not here to polish your trophies. I'm here to rattle your cage. I'm here to challenge what you think, what you believe, and try and expand that. So we want to do that. Something real quick. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So the title of today's show, Emotional Intelligence, Who Cares? Part 1. And it's part 1 because I could do a year's worth of shows, weekly shows about emotional intelligence, emotional quotient. We could do a massive number. There's so much in that topic. So this is going to be a multi episode deal. And so the concept of the whole piece about people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care means your EQ, your emotional quotient, is probably at least or not more important than your IQ. How smart you are doesn't matter if you don't have EQ, because people will not listen to how smart you are. They won't listen to you talk. So we want to put that out there. I want to put that out there, especially for leaders. If you're leading and you don't have EQ, or you're not plugged into your EQ, I heard a statistic around 70%, 75% of leaders aren't aware of their EQ. They don't realize that's what's making the influence that they're wanting to have. That positive impact is that influence is coming from their EQ, not from their IQ. Again, it's not coming from their IQ. It's not, people aren't inspired by information and knowledge, someone that's really smart. What they're inspired by is somebody that has some emotional intelligence and can connect with them and show empathy and sympathy and be able to, connect to them. That's what connects. Really good leaders are empathetic and they understand. It doesn't mean they just let everything willy-nilly and there's no accountability. That's not the case, but it means they're in touch with their EQ. So I had talked about something, or had thought about talking about something ages ago, and I was reminded about it this week, and I thought, you know what, I need to add that because it's such a huge thing. And it's something about a centerboard. If you sail, you'll know what a centerboard is. And on a sailboat, the centerboard is that long keel thing underneath. Sometimes it's removable, sometimes it's not. But that keel that sits underneath about halfway on stem to stern and side to side, it's right in the middle. And it's fairly long. And it looks weird sticking out the bottom like that, like a dorsal fin, but on the wrong side, under the water instead of above the water. That centerboard is what keeps the sailboat from tipping over. It takes something really monstrous to knock it over, but that centerboard keeps it moving the way it needs to. It keeps it above water. No matter what the storm is and how it rocks, that centerboard is holding it from flipping over. Our EQ is the centerboard in our life. Our EQ and mastery of our EQ is the centerboard in our life. It holds us from tipping over. It allows us to take the hits and keep moving forward. It allows us to get bumped and bruised and continue to move forward. So I wanted to put that out there because that's a huge deal. Having your centerboard where it belongs. Are you even aware that it's there? Do you look after it? And we're going to talk about that. This is such a huge, huge topic. Defining even. Why do we need it? What's the big deal? Who cares? Right? Emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. I'm going to read it out of Webster's. It's a person's ability to control, perceive, and evaluate one's own emotion. Wikipedia defined it as the ability to perceive, use, understand, and manage and handle emotion. Do we have the ability? Do we have mastery control of our emotional intelligence, of our emotional quotient? People refer to me as the king of EQ, the king of emotional quotient. Why? Because we're trying to hone in on that. It's such an important piece of our lives. We have to be able to connect to that. Without that piece, we're not relatable. And we don't have some of the things and tools and things that we don't have what we need to be able to interact with other people. If you've ever watched the TV show House, I love that show. House it's a great show. It's very well written, but he's an incredible doctor. But he's also really hard to deal with, like really hard, like no bedside manner, none whatsoever. If he wasn't as good a doctor as he is, they would not put up with his stuff. He's so much crap. And they put up with it because he's such a brilliant doctor. No EQ. He doesn't have any. No emotional intelligence. He's not even aware that what he's saying is offensive to people. It's just not part of his dialogue. Now, over the seasons, he starts to figure some of that out. Still doesn't have lots of it. Very caustic. Are you like that? Do you have emotional awareness? Do you have awareness of your emotional intelligence? We're going to explore a lot of that today. And over the next few weeks, we're going to explore it over and over and over. All the different bits and pieces, or as many pieces as we can that make sense logically in the show. But I want to be able to make sure, is it important? It's not a who cares. We need to care. Literally, that's EQ, caring. Things like funeral. People don't like to go to a funeral because they never know what to say. It's awkward. We stand there and go, and what comes out? Sorry for your loss. To make the point, is there anything anybody can say that can make the family feel better about the loss of their loved one? No. There isn't. There's nothing anybody can say that's going to make that better. But we want to try. A lot of times it's not about what's coming out of our mouth. It's not about what's coming out of our mouth. It's about standing there and being there in support of them. But if I don't have any emotional quotient, and I think that's why people don't go. They don't go to viewings. They don't go to the funerals. Why? Because they don't know what to say. It's awkward and it's weird. And they go, I don't know what, I don't want to be uncomfortable like that. So I just don't go. That's EQ. Understanding there's nothing one can say that will make it better. So don't try. The fact that you're standing there in support of them. And we say the regular things, deep condolences or sorry for your loss, or at the end of the day, they'll say thank you and shake your hand or give you a hug. Or giving a hug is a great idea in that space. But even that takes emotional quotient. Being able to understand what people need in the moment, being able to read the room and know, hey, these are the people that have challenges, or these are the people that need a hug. These are the people that need to be supported. Are we aware? Do we know? We're going to talk in the next few segments about awareness and the types of people that we're looking for, that I work with on a client basis, and that I like to talk to, because my avatar is entrepreneurial men. It's men mostly. Doesn't mean men have the market cornered on an inability or a disconnect of our emotions, but men were taught, at least my ilk, and a lot of men are in a space where they're taught, don't show emotion, don't look weak, don't cry. And then the pendulum swings the other way, and you get people that are really tough, manly men that have lots of testosterone and no estrogen and no connection to their feminine energy whatsoever, that are completely bereft of any kind of EQ. And then you've got the other side of the equation with men that'll cry at the drop of a hat and are all wildly emotional, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with either one of those things necessarily. What I'm saying is, having emotional mastery is something we can control, so that we don't get led all over the place by our emotion. It doesn't overwhelm us. It doesn't stop us from being, or slow us down from being able to move forward. Being able to be in that space and hold on to stuff, hold on to what our emotions are doing, back to the stimulus, pause, respond. If I can do that, that requires mastery of my emotion, mastery of myself, but mastery of my emotion. There's so much to talk about right here. I have to take a quick break, pay some bills, but I want to do a quick shout out to two of my founding partner sponsors. The first one is Jose Escobar, great friend and brother, amazing human being, but he's the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening routine mastery program that's changing people's lives. And if you're not doing something at the beginning, at the end of your day, you're missing out on some of the effectiveness you could have. This is an incredible program. The program will help you install systems on the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Set up a free strategy session with Jose Escobar today. And you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. And the second one is my sponsor, Kat Schwarz, is the founder and CEO of a groundbreaking company called Compassionate Healing Services, and offers a completely unique approach to treating physical and mental health challenges. Check her out on Instagram at Compassionate Healing Services, or email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com. She's an incredible lady. That service is unbelievable. Her services are amazing. And I think she's coming onto the network in the next few weeks. I think she's going to have her own show. So watch for that. That'll be awesome. All right. As we go to a quick break here, we're going to take just a minute or two, do a quick commercial break. But as we go, don't forget to pause and breathe. Don't forget to pause and breathe. Why? Because it's grounding you. It'll allow you to think about what we've just talked about and let that settle. So don't forget to pause and breathe as we go to a commercial break here. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. Thank you. We'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. All right. So we're talking about emotional intelligence. Who cares? Part 1. And we're talking through what's the definition of it? Where is it coming? This section, I want to talk about the 3 types of men that I typically see. And I think in terms of women do it as well. Women have the same kind of thing, but I focus on men, on entrepreneur man is my avatar. So 3 types of men that I see, and like I say, I think women do it as well, but men primarily here. The first one is a victim, and typically they're looking for a savior. So that's the type of a man that is not taking responsibility or ownership for the situation they're in. They don't own any of that. The fact that they don't have any emotional intelligence, they're probably not aware even that they don't have emotional intelligence. And so they blame other people. They don't take responsibility, and they're looking for someone to save them. They're looking for someone to do it for them. They're not willing to take ownership and say, no, I have to do that, which, by the way, is the only way it happens. The second type of men that I run into are the information addicts. So these men, they're open to listen. They read lots. They'll go to seminars about it. They'll lots of information and knowledge, but they don't do anything with it. It doesn't impact their lives in terms of execution of it all. They get the information, but it doesn't change them. And so that runs in the same category for me as someone that's illiterate and can't read is in the same category as somebody that can read but doesn't. They're on the same level, and sadly they're on the same level. And I think the same thing happens here. Someone that's an information addict, meaning they're taking in all this information, but they're not using any of it. They might as well not know it. If you're not going to use it, why are you filling your head with stuff that's you're never going to use? So that's the second one, is an information addict. And the third one is an executioner. And I refer to it that way because that's the type of man or person that takes the information in, but then allows that and chooses, I'm a big choice guy. They're choosing to implement that in their life, no matter how hard that is, and no matter what that means, and no matter how much pain that causes them, because it's not easy. Growth is not easy. It's also can be painful and chaotic, right? You think of what happens if you watch a time-lapse photography of a seed growing in the dirt. It explodes tears apart the shell that's around it. It tears it all apart. It blows up all over it's messy. Growth is messy, and it's painful, and it hurts, and it can be destructive in some ways until you get out of that space. But it's needed. That is absolute. That acorn cannot grow and reach its potential if it doesn't pop the top off and crack the shell. That has to happen. There's no way to grow without that. So people that and guys and gals both that are wanting to grow need to take the information and then implement it. Choose to implement it. Choose that path of hard, of chaotic, of explosive. It's going to be hard. Choose it anyway. Why? Because it's worth it. It's worth it. In the end, the results will absolutely be better. It's a hard thing. We look at it and go, no. I don't want that. I don't want the pain. The challenge is growth doesn't happen without that. It's very difficult to grow without that. For a seed to grow, it has to be put in dirt. It's got to get buried. Why? Because the dirt holds the nutrients that seed needs to grow. And the challenges that we choose to put ourselves in, and the challenges that happen to us anyway, right? Life's only 10% what happens, 90% how we respond to that. Can that be painful? Yes. Are those easy choices? No, they're not. Most of them are not, but they're worth it in the end. Because otherwise we live a mediocre life that's not inspiring, not to ourselves, not to anybody else. We just sort of go through the motions. That's a horrible way to live. At least the other way, at least with growth, at least choosing to put yourself out there and grow, intentionally grow, choosing to intentionally grow is way more fun, way more exciting. But you have to be willing to take the hits. You have to be able to choose to put yourself in that difficult path. And those are the three types of men that seem to come up over and over and over and over and over, right? Three sections and types of people or guys: victims, info addicts that are just taking it all in. So victims are people that don't take responsibility for their own, right? Don't own it at all. Info addict takes the information but doesn't do anything with it. The executioner is the one I'm looking for when I'm looking for clients. The executioner is something I'm looking for. Why? Because I want to work with people that not only understand there's a need, not only are aware that they have the need, but are actually willing to do the work to get there. There's a lot of people out there that know they have a need, but don't want to do the hard work to get it. They want the results, but they don't want to do the hard work to get there. And it doesn't come. To get the one, you have to have the other. They're not independent of each other. So I want to review just real quick the definitions. I want to keep that in the front of our minds. I want that in the front of our brain. A person's ability to control, perceive, and evaluate one's own emotion. Emotional mastery. And again, Wikipedia said the ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, and handle. The ability, that's a choice. It's not just a skill. It's something we have to foster. The ability to perceive, use, ding, 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 ding. That's an execution. Understand, manage, and handle emotion. By the way, I didn't say this off the top, and I probably should have. If you don't have your journal in front of you, you don't have something to write on, you're not writing this stuff down, it's going to go away. You're not going to remember. You're going to want to remember, but you're not going to remember, because most people can't retain more than 10% of what they hear, even if they take good notes. So you're going to want to review this stuff. You're going to want to go back and go, what did he say? And by all means, come back and to Inspired Choices Network, watch the episode again if you want to. Listen to it again as a podcast. Listen to it or watch it. But my point is, we need to be writing stuff down. We need to be journaling. We need to be have. If you don't have it out, I keep trying to say, stop the tape and get something to write on. I don't care what you're writing on. Write on the wall. Write on your hand. Find some way to write, because you're going to want to remember. So again, the ability, and again, we talk about bits and pieces. I was talking about with a group last night. Initially, we're unaware that we don't know, right? We just don't realize we don't know. And then all of a sudden, we hear it for the first time or whatnot, and we go, oh, there we go. Okay, so now I have an awareness. So initially I'm unconsciously incompetent. I don't know what I don't know. Once I'm aware, then I'm consciously incompetent, right? I know I don't know. And then I go and try and find. Some people just stay there. Some people are happy just to not to know and not to move forward and just to stay where they are. And that's fine. That for them, that's what they want to do. That's great. But for people that want to move forward, then we're working through that. We go from consciously incompetent to consciously competent, right? We go from I can't do it, I know I can't do it, to, hey, you know what, I'm working on it. So now but it's a conscious thought. I have to think about it to make it work. I'm thinking about it to make it work. That's consciously competent. And then the last one is unconsciously competent, meaning I don't have to think about it. It's just happening. And that's the ultimate. That's what we're trying to get, right? In a lot of areas of our life, and as many as we can. We want to be unconsciously competent. Just have it happen. It's part of our DNA. It's just we're so mastered in our emotion and our mind and body that we're not even thinking about it. It's just happening. Tiger Woods, when he steps up to a tee, he's to drive a ball, he's not thinking about the mechanics of it, right? Bend your knees, keep your back straight, or bend your arms, or he's not thinking mechanics, right? His body just knows. That's muscle memory. The rest of us can do a similar type thing with all the other things that we're doing. Do we have muscle memory? And I say that in quotes, muscle memory, in terms of understanding that we're trying to be unconsciously competent with our emotions, with our emotional intelligence, with our emotional quotient. We want to be aware of what's going on around us. We'll talk in other episodes about the awareness of it. We're going to talk in the next segment about awareness in a very small way, just in a real 30,000 foot view of it all, because this is just a quick introduction to a topic that's monumental and has so many facets to it. But yeah, in the next segment, we're going to talk about awarenesses, types of awareness. So stick around. We have to take another quick break. The time just goes so fast. We're going to take another quick break. But I want to do a couple shout outs again. Kat Schwarz is, and there's no T, SCHWARZ. Kat Schwarz. If you email her, info@compassionatehealingservices.com, and mention the long bearded guy, that's where you heard about the offer, you'll receive 20% off one of her services. That's $100 savings off Kat's most unique offering, which is a spiritual private investigation service. Kat will use her skills as an evidential medium to reconnect you with a loved one who's crossed over and provide proof of their continued presence in your life. Email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com and mention the long bearded guy. And there's no energy created or destroyed. So when somebody passes on, when somebody transitions, their energy's not gone. It's still here. She's an incredible human, incredible service. And the other one is Jose Escobar, the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Connected Leaders Academy. It's a membership that will take your business to the next level. This is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. Great guy, incredible program. I'm a member of the CLA. I'm on the executive of the CLA, of the Connected Leaders Academy. So, but it's an incredible group of people, heart-centric servant leaders. If that's what you're looking for, and as an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow, you want to have those connections. All right, we're going to take another quick break. Don't forget to pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. You're with the long bearded guy. That's me, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville, The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. All right, we're talking about emotional intelligence. Who cares? Part 1. There'll be multiple parts. This is such a huge topic. There's so many bits and pieces of this. So we could, like I said, I could do a year's worth of and still not scratch only the surface of this topic. So there's so many bits and pieces of this. So we've talked about the definition of emotional intelligence, emotional quotients. We've talked about the 3 different types of men that I'm focused on, or at least that seem to come up over and over and over and over. And then in this piece, why, what, when, how, and where. This is about awareness. And I want to touch on these just real quick. We'll expand on them over the weeks, but I want to touch on them just real quick. So there's a bunch of different awarenesses in this kind of a topic, and I want to focus on a few of them. The awareness of why. Why is it even an issue? Why is it something that we need to pay attention to? Our emotional quotient, our emotional intelligence. Why is it something that we need to pay attention to? Why? How come? And we're going to explore that. The short answer is because without it, we can't grow. Without emotional intelligence, we also can't connect. We need that. We're built as humans to connect. We're not islands. People can get a certain amount of success on their own by themselves, but eventually, if they want really huge success, they have to spread out, and they have to add people to the team, and they're going to expand and expand. They can't do it by themselves. But awareness of why is it important? Why is emotional intelligence important? The next one is what. So awareness of what it is. What are the components of emotional intelligence? What constitute, what types of like practical stuff? I can say, hey, your emotional intelligence and your emotional quotient is important, and then move on. But people are going to go, okay, what does that mean really? What's emotional like really, truly? I mean, we can read a definition of what EQ or EI is, but at the end of the day, practically speaking, what are the pieces I need to pay attention to? What are the pieces I need to be aware of in my emotional intelligence so that I can, I mean, you can't change something or fix something or improve something or measure something unless you're aware of it, right? Someone that's got an addiction has to get to a point where they go, I have an addiction, before they can be helped. You can't, no matter how good your program is and how badly you want it for them, until they get to a point where they go, hey, I have an addiction. Then they can be helped. It's an awareness of the challenge. So what it is, what are the components of emotional intelligence? The practicality of that. The next one, awareness of when it's needed. Part of it's understanding what it is. Part of it's understanding that we need it. The other part is understanding when to employ that into what the conversation is about, into our life. Where do we put it into our life? Where do we, is it something that's across everything? Is it something that's only in our relationships? Is it something that's in business or personal life? Where are we using? When is it needed? When is emotional intelligence needed? Some people don't understand and they don't know when it's needed. And it makes it awkward and a little bit weird because if they're not responding in a normal way with normal stimuli. So people like Hannibal Lecter was an incredible criminal. Why? Because he had mastery over his emotions to the point where he didn't respond in a normal human way to stimuli, not on any side. Things that should have made him angry didn't make him angry, and things that should have made him happy didn't make him happy, and things that things that should have infuriated him didn't infuriate him because he had such mastery control of his emotion. When is it needed? He used it in places that it wasn't needed, which is part of what made it weird. It also made him a really good criminal type human. Awareness of how to measure your own. I can say to you, hey, you need to measure, you need to keep track of where your emotional intelligence is, where's your emotional quotient at. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how to measure it, then that's gonna cause some challenges. So being able to be, number one, be aware, but then be able to measure it. How am I faring? Am I doing well? Am I not doing well? How do I fare it? How do I measure that? Awareness of where to find the most effective tools and strategies. So if I'm learning, it's great to read and it's good to go to conferences about it. It's good to plug yourself into emotional intelligence, but where are the best resources that we can find that can help us with that journey, that can help us with the awareness, that can teach us the things we need to know to make it go forward? Again, it's an awareness of improvement strategies. How do I make it better? Where do I find those strategies? Was the one before, but then what are they? What are I need to be aware. I need to know what improvement strategies look like. How do I do that? Where do they come from? What do I literally have practically? What do I have to do to improve my EQ, to improve my emotional intelligence? How do I make it better? Are there strategies to do that? Are there exercises I can do? Are there programs I can take? Is it free? Does it cost? What's the deal? So awareness of improvement strategies, and then awareness of the execution or adoption of improvement. So I have to be aware that I need to execute. I have to be aware that I need to actually do. And you hear me talk lots about being versus doing. But if you're being who you are supposed to be, you will be doing. Your doing then is an outcrop of who you're being. And if you're being who you're supposed to be, you will have awareness of your emotional quotient. You'll have awareness of your emotional intelligence, and then you'll be aware, hey, you know what? Here's some improvement strategies. Here's some things that I can do that can make it better. Here's some things that no matter how high it is, I can always make it better. No matter how much we think we have control or mastery with our emotions, it's an ongoing journey. We've never arrived. We will never arrive. We just keep working at it. And people go, Gordon, well, once I get no. Understand. If I ask you to raise your hand as high as you can, you put your hand up, right? And then I go, okay, can you go further? Stretch a little further. And we go, and we go up a little bit. Can you go further? Come on, go further. And we tip a little harder. Can you get farther? And we go up on 1 foot to try and get even higher, right? 1 foot. And then we're on our tiptoes, a little farther. We keep going. Well, we had said we were as hard as we could go, is when I said, raise your hand as high as you can. We always have that little bit more. There's always more room to grow. Always. And if we keep that in the front of our mind, again, that's part of our EQ or our emotional quotient. Our emotional intelligence says, I know I'm never going to get fully there, but it doesn't mean I don't try. I am going to, and it's not even try, I am going to do. If I say try, I'm giving myself an out. Stop saying I'm going to try. Because what you're saying is, hey, you know what? I don't know if I can. That's not a positive, place to come from in the first place. But secondly, it gives me an out. Well, I tried. That's bullshit. It's not try. It's do. Even Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Don't give yourself the out. If it's important to you, you'll get it done. And you heard me say this last week or 2 weeks ago. Someone that says to me, I don't have time. What I'm hearing is, I don't want to. So if you're going to say to me, Gord, I don't have time to find strategies. I don't have time to learn about my emotional intelligence. What you're telling me is you don't want to. And that's okay. If you're happy where you are, that's okay. I still love you. But if you want more, if you want to be better today and tomorrow than you were yesterday and today, you have to put yourself in that space. You have to choose to step into that space. And I'm challenging you again, right? I'm not here to polish. I'm here to rattle your cage, shake your chain and go, hey, wake up. Or is your life what you want it to be? And if not, why not? And I can help with some of the strategies. I can help, and I want to be able to help. I'm hoping the show helps with some of that. Some quick pieces here. And we're going to talk about this over the next couple segments here. What are signs of low emotional quotient? How can you tell, right? We talk about measuring. How can you measure? What would be a sign of low emotional quotient? When you're in yourself. I mean, you can see it in others. Usually we can see it in others easier and quicker than we can see it in ourselves. But what are signs of that? The need to always be right is one. Someone that always has to be right has low emotional quotient. They're trying to be dominant. Being oblivious to the feelings of others is a sign of low emotional quotient. Just not understanding, no awareness of what's happening around them. And in terms of what people are feeling, we say stuff, and then are we paying attention to how that's impacting somebody else, or thinking about it in our head of how that will impact somebody before we open our mouth and hurt them or cause challenges? That's mastery control of our emotion. Insensitive behavior is a sign of low EQ. Blaming others for their shortcomings is a sign of low EQ. Poor coping skills, when we resort to stuff that's just not healthy, it means I've given up to some degree and I've got low EQ. Emotional outbursts, again, that's just not mastery control of our emotion, right? Stimulus, pause, respond, not react, respond. Somebody that has an emotional outburst and can't control that emotion, it could be a sign. It could be, okay, I'm gonna put that proviso in there, that caveat. Could be a sign of a low EQ, because we all have them, right? Someone cuts us off in traffic, we have a visceral reaction to that. Usually we take the emotion out of it for a second and I hold on to it. You know, you see people that will flip people the bird or scream and yell or angry or ride on their bumper. There's lots of things they can do, but that's a low EQ. That we're being low EQ in that space if we do that. Somebody that struggles with relationships, because again, it goes back to the awareness. They're not aware of that they're hurting the other person. They're not aware of what the situation is, and so they hurt and can hurt the other person. Self-centeredness is a sign of low EQ. And do we have those things? Yes. Do all of us have some of those things on time? Yes, we all do it at times. I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that if you have any of these things that give up, it's not going to work. What I'm saying is we all, just to be aware. I can't fix or change something if I'm not aware. And so I'm trying to help you be aware. These are the pieces, signs. And so in situations, if I have an emotional outburst, it goes through my head, hey, Gord, that's low EQ. Does it mean I'm totally no EQ? No. But in that moment, if I have that, I've given myself into that low EQ philosophy and mindset, and I don't want to do that. Because it's a choice. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a choice. How we respond is a choice. And you can tell me, Gordon, no, I didn't have a choice. Bullshit. You had a choice. You have the ability to control it. And I'm not saying that's easy. I know that's hard. Easier said than done, right? But we still can choose. And are we going to be 100% successful at that? Probably not. But it doesn't mean we don't put ourselves out there and make the attempt and be aware, hey, I'm going to try and hold on to these things. We need to take another quick break. But if this resonates with you in any way, please share this with other people. If you want to help make sure this message continues to go out and you want to help with sponsorship, financially participate, please reach out to me. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com is the easiest. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com is the easiest. If you have questions or comments, people are doing it with me all the time. I appreciate that engagement. If you need somebody you want to be part of one of my group coaching, group mentorship groups, or you want one-on-one attention, or you want me to come and speak at your keynote or be a keynote at one of your events at your church or your school or your work or whatever, I'm happy to do that. Please reach out. There's opportunities for all of those things. And again, that's engagement. I want to be able to engage with as many people as I can. The mission is 10 million men. There's 8 billion people plus on the planet. Conceivably, half of them are men. So 10 million is not the target. 10 million is the jump point. We start to count at 10 million men. So if you can help me with that in any way, you want more information about any of that, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Reach out. Happy to help. Again, we need to take a quick break. Do not forget to pause and breathe as we go to commercial here. My good brother, Austin Haynes, who is a sponsor for the show, is big on, he taught me that. Pause and breathe. And it's made such a monumental change to my life and to my ability to focus. If I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to be aware. It's a great way to recenter yourself. If you find yourself scattered in front, stop and pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. Okay, we'll go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We're gonna finish the bits and pieces of some of the positive parts of what are positive ways to measure your EQ, and then we'll have a quick call to action. Time just goes. We'll be right back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. That's me on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, you're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. We're talking about emotional intelligence. Who cares? Part 1. In this quick section, we're almost out of time. So the signs, I promise you, I'll give you the signs of high IQ, how to measure high IQ. A couple quick ones are the ability to self-regulate. If you can do the right thing, no matter who's watching, no matter who's paying attention, you're completely alone. Nobody will ever know. If you can self-regulate and do what you're supposed to do, that's a sign of high EQ, not IQ, EQ. Responding, not reacting. Cats react, animals react. And humans were the only living thing that was given the ability to hold on to it and respond. If I step on a cat's tail, it's going to react instantly, right? It doesn't have the capacity to stop and go, did Gordon really mean to step on me? Is he trying to hurt me? Is that they don't have the capacity to do that. So it's a reaction. When we react as humans, and a lot of times, a lot of us do that anyway, we react instead of responding. And we say things and do things that are hurting people around us that we can't take back, or blowing up relationships, or causing challenges for ourselves. So respond, do not react. That's a sign of high IQ. Understanding our triggers, knowing what triggers us. Somebody cutting us off in traffic, if that's a trigger, we're aware that that's something that's going to trigger us. Again, we have to have awareness. If we don't have awareness of what the problems are, we can't fix them. Ability to listen. My mom used to say, Gord, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Listen twice as much as you talk. And then effective communication are all signs of high EQ. High EQ. I want to give you a couple of, over the next few weeks, we're going to give you some resources, some stuff you can read, some things you can look for. 2 are How to Own Your Own Mind is a book, How to Own Your Own Mind by Napoleon Hill. You know, I'm a huge Napoleon Hill fan, and teach that all over the place. So How to Own Your Own Mind is Napoleon Hill. And then Meta-Human is Deepak Chopra. Meta-Human. Great books, incredible resources to understand and to learn more about how your mind works. How do our emotions work? How do I get control of those things? And if you need help with that stuff, like I said, reach out to me. That's my gig, right? That's my jam. I can help you. I can point you in a direction. Maybe it was somebody else that can help, but I can help with that. The call to action this week is, as prep for next week, evaluate where you are. Again, I hope you wrote this stuff down. Evaluate where you're at on your EQ journey. Are you mostly low or mostly high EQ? Do you do the things that were on the low list, or do you do mostly things that are on the high list? And just for yourself, right? Giving you resources next week, Friday the 24th, same place, same time, same great station, same great network. Emotional intelligence, we need to care, part 2. So today was emotional intelligence, who cares, part 1. Next week is emotional intelligence, we need to care, part 2. Bring your friends. We're going to try again, please. We're going to try and add 1,000 new subscribers to Inspired Choices Network over this next week to get the message out. There's lots of other hosts on the network. There's some great stuff on here. Put it out to your friends. Ask your friends to join. Promote it as much as you can. We really appreciate that. That engagement is something that we really want, and I really badly want. So like I said, reach out to the people around. Listen to the other hosts on the network. There's some amazing, incredible people. Listen to them too. But over this next week, think about, do not forget to evaluate. So let's measure where you are on your EQ journey. Where are you? Awareness is where it begins. I have to be able to know where I'm at. I'm not here to polish your trophies. I'm here to rattle your chain. Shake your cage. Come on. Snap out of it. Let's go. You want to go more? You're not happy where you are? Then you got to push forward. That takes doing new things. What got you where you are is not going to get you to where you want to go. Again, definition of insanity, we all know it. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. We have to do something different. We have to be willing to sacrifice who we think we are today to be who we're supposed to be tomorrow. I challenge you to do that. Encourage you to do that. Next week, make it another great week. I love you. Massive hugs. Live abundantly and with intention. We'll see you next Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. Make it a great week. Love you all.
Thank you for tuning into the Long Bearded Guy Show. You are appreciated and loved. Gordon D Melville returns Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, make it another great week, leading with love, powerfully designing, crafting, and living out your positively impactful legacy life you were created for. Big hugs.
See you later.